Goodreads. You can't spell it without good, and you can't spell it without dread. Goodreads made a list recently, sort of recently, with the 40 most read or most reviewed books of 2023 so far. And I see some names on that list of books that I read and loved very much. I see some books on there I've never heard of, and I see some books that I would not pick up unless I was paid. My Venmo will be in the description. But I thought it would be fun to go through these. And I'm aware that this came out months ago, but I've had a lot going on. Part of what's been going on is a full Harry Potter reread, because sometimes you know the wellness wheel? Like, it's a visualization of all the different types of wellness. So there's like mental wellness, physical wellness, financial wellness. For me, when that wheel is all bad, when that wheel is like flat tire on the wellness wheel, I break the emergency glass on the Harry Potter vault and do a full reread. So that's what I've been up to in Bookland for the most part. On a somewhat related note, I think I'm going to do a video on my experience so far with the K-1 visa process, also known as like the 90-day fiancé visa. So please let me know in the comments if that sounds interesting to you. I'm probably going to do it regardless, because I just sort of need to externally process that experience a little bit, but it would still be cool to know if anybody is intrigued by the idea. So please let me know in the comments. Also, while you're down there, like and subscribe and stuff, I guess. But for now, we can just talk about the books on this Goodreads list, an entirely accurate snapshot of what everyone and their dads are reading. We'll start at the top with one I have not read. This is the most read book of 2023 so far, based on the people involved in the 2023 reading challenge, it sounds like. The methodology is fuzzy. Anyway, the book is It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. To my understanding, this is a retelling of It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, which I did read, so it's a retelling from another point of view of that. It's the midnight sun to It Ends With Us as like twilight. It Ends With Us, it was fine. I've talked about it on the channel before. I just don't feel the need to revisit that story again from another point of view, so we are not adding that one to the want to read pile, and I have not read it. Off to a great start. Number 2, I have read and very much enjoyed Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm sure it got a boost seeing it up here at number 2. It's a couple years old, but it was adapted into an Amazon miniseries this year, which I watched and liked very much. Every woman in that show is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I want to do a whole video on her books. The more I read of her work, the more impressed I am with her as a writer. I just think that she's great. So it's cool to see her up here with Daisy Jones, and also at number 3 with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This book is even a couple years older. I think it came out in like 2017, and it's still up here at number 3 in the year of our Lord 2023. That is some boss shit. Go Taylor Jenkins Reid. I'm sure everyone's read it by now. I feel like if you can read, you've read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Number 4 is Mad Read's Choice Award 2022 winner in the memoir category, I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. Read it, loved it, have already loaned my copy out to 2 friends. There it is. Number 5, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Read it once. That was good for me. We'll see what they do with the movie. Hi, Colleen. Probably see you later on the list. Number 6 though, oh, I just finished this not that long ago and I still think about it all the time. Okay, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. This book is so, I don't know what to do with my body because of this book. Also, my drunk party trick is reciting that whole soliloquy from Macbeth, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, creeps and petty pace from day to day. And the last time I did it at a bar, I got too like effusive with my hand gestures and just slapped someone's drink off the table. I did replace it for them. Fun little aside. Okay, about this book though. It is a story about relationships and creating video games. And if the video games part freaks you out or makes you uninterested, it shouldn't, because you don't have to be like a hashtag gamer girl for that part to be interesting, and it's mostly about the relationships. So there's friendship and then there's partnership, like creative partnership or business partnership, and what's the give and take between those kind of 2 coexistent relationships. There's supporting someone that you care about when they have an idea or a dream, but then also being realistic and honest about your opinions about what they have going on. There's the question of, can you transition a toxic romantic or sexual relationship into like just a cordial friendship. And should you do that? Is there any value in doing that? And that's just the surface of the stuff going on. I just want to take all of the flawed and beautiful and frustrating characters in this book and just hold them to me closely and say, you stupid idiot morons, but like in the best way. And I've felt so many feelings. Ugh. I have never ever read another book like that. Everyone should read it. It's so good. Okay, number 7 is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. I have apparently marked this on Goodreads as want to read. I have no memory of doing that, and I don't know what this book is about at all. But just based on the cover, so as I was scrolling through this list earlier, there are several books that don't look like real books to me. They look like a prop on a TV show or a movie or something. It's this one, it's The Housemaid, and something marriage. The Perfect Marriage. Those 3, as I was going through, I was like, I don't think those are books with like real authors and plots and stuff. I don't know, just something about the covers. So what is this about? Chemist Elizabeth Zott is not your average woman. Ooh, you go, girl. Early 1960s All-Male Research Institute. Okay, cool. Historical fiction. I'm into it. We'll leave that as want to read, why not? She's a woman in STEM. Just like me when I snaked my own shower drain last night. Number 8 is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I read this book a couple years ago, and at the time I was like, this is fine, but I hadn't really read a lot in that genre, that kind of like thriller-ish, mystery-ish type thing, and I have since then, and so now I think this book is silly. Silly book. Moving on. Number 9 is one of very few books on this list written by men. It's Spare by Prince Henry. Prince Henry. Prince Henry is the prince from Red, White, and Royal Blue. And I will probably not read this. Nothing super personal, I'm just not that interested in it. Number 10, I am clearly very interested in because I've talked about it a lot on this channel. It's A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This series, say whatever you want to, it's fun. It's fun to read, and it's okay to read for fun. One of my very good friends is now on the last book, I think, and it's been such a treat for me to send her TikToks and memes and little references and stuff as she's gone through the series. And now we're trying to make all of our other friends also read them so we can just sort of make it a bit. But it's a good time. Who cares? Number 11, Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry. I have read this book. I think I've read every book she's ever written. She can do no wrong in my eyes. Number 12 is More Akotar. It's A Court of Mist and Fury. Akko math. I've read it. It's fun. Number 13, this one's also marked as want to read, and I don't remember doing it, and I don't know what it's about, but it's Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. Bearded bad boy barber Knox prefers to live his life the way he takes his coffee, alone, unless you count his basset hound Waylon. That smells like small town romance. It appears to be the first in the series, Knock 'em Out. I originally read it as Knock Me Out, and I was like, please do, but it's Knock 'em Out. I bet that's like the name of the town. That's my hypothesis, is that the town is called Knock 'em Out. But we'll see. Sure, we'll leave it as want to read. Bearded bad boy barber. My grandpa was a barber, but he wasn't really a bad boy. Mostly just cut hair. Number 14 is another one of those books that I thought kind of looked more like a prop than a real book. It's The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. It has an average rating of 4.34 with more than 600,000 ratings. That is high. People are all about this. That's wild. I wonder why I haven't heard more about this book. I'll put it on the want to read pile, sure. I don't care. Number 15 is The Silent Patient by Alex McLeese, which I have read, don't remember a ton about. It was a while back, but I know it was good. Like, I know that I enjoyed it. So take that as you will. All right, number 16, Twisted Love by Anna Huang. This is one of those books I see absolutely everywhere. Haven't read it. The description starts with, he has a heart of ice, but for her, he'd burn the world. Alex Volkov is a devil blessed with the face of an angel and cursed with a past he can't escape. Is he though? Is he though? I don't know. Probably not gonna read this, not gonna mark it down for now. Feel free to change my mind. There's gotta be an alternate cover for this too if it's as popular as it is, because this cover is not great. Number 17 is more ACOTAR, A Court of Wings and Ruin. That's ACOWAR. I think it's number 3. I think the last one was number 2. I read it, it was fun. Yay. I've also read number 18, Carrie Soto is Back by our friend, Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is maybe the book of hers that I was the least initially excited for because it seemed like it had a pretty big sports emphasis and the main character's a bitch. And those two things aren't bad. I liked it, but you're not gonna get as heavy of a romance. It's very sports, it's very tennis, and I know nothing about tennis. And Carrie Soto's a bitch, and that's fine. It's fine to be a bitch. So yes, I read it, I liked it. Number 19 is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I have not read this one. The description starts with, would you defend your husband if he was accused of killing his mistress? My husband doesn't have a mistress, and I technically don't yet have a husband, so no. I don't know. I'm sure this book's fine. I'm not gonna add it to like the I desperately want to read this right now pile. That's okay. And honestly, same goes for number 20, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I don't know, it seems fine. I'm just not really grabbed by it. It's also the first in a series, which makes me wonder if we don't get to know what the good girl has been guided to murder. I don't want an unresolved mystery at this point in my life. I want closure. Number 21 is more Colleen Hoover. This one's Ugly Love. No thanks. Number 22 is Things We Hide from the Light, which appears to be the second book in the Knock 'Em Out series by Lucy Score. We'll see how book 1 goes, and then maybe we'll dive into book 2. Number 23 is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. It's a hockey romance. Probably not going to read this one, but thank you if you watched my hockey BookTok drama video a while back. It's my most viewed video on this channel, like kind of by far, so that's cool. Number 24 is more Colleen Hoover. It's Reminders of Him. No thank you. Number 25 is more ACOTAR. This one's A Court of Frost and Starlight. ACOFAS. That's the Christmas special novella. So like still fun, but not as fun as the rest of the series. Number 26, The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I read this one. I liked this one. It's interesting to see it so far up here because I feel like the hype has kind of died down a bit, but like that's neat. Number 27, it has been 10 years since I've read a Jodi Picoult book. I think most people say Picoult. I think I've heard her say it out loud that it's Pico, whatever. This is Mad Honey, a novel written with Jennifer Finney Boylan. I might have to check this out. I don't know. I read a crap ton of her books in like high school, so we'll see what she's up to these days. That's cool. We have more ACOTAR at number 28, A Court of Silver Flames, ACOSF. Still a fun read. I have read it. I have not read but want to read number 29, Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This was passionately recommended to me by a coworker. I think I'm still on the waitlist for it at the library. Like number 30, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I don't think I'm on a list for it, but I think it's like on my list to read. It seems like it's one of those books that's mostly vibe and not as much plot, and I think I have to be in kind of the right mood to take something like that on, so we'll see when that seems interesting to me. Okay, number 31 is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, and it is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaires series, and I'm pretty sure I've read the description for this before because at the time I was like, this sounds like if someone yelled the plot of Succession at some kind of AI engine from across a crowded room and then was like, but make it a romance and also like make it for the girlies because it's all like hot billionaire boss running theme parks and hotels and production companies and stuff. Realistically, probably not going to read this one, but I bet it's a good time. Number 32 is more of the Twisted series by Anna Huang. This one's Twisted Games. It's the second one. She can never be his, but he's taking her anyway. Oh, he's a bodyguard. No. Maybe. Not now. We'll say not now. Okay, explain this to me though. Number 33, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I read this book when it came out. I really liked it. I thought it was super good. I reviewed it well. I have no motivation whatsoever to continue the series. At least one more has come out, and I'm just like, I truly don't know. If you've read more of them, let me know if they're good, but like, that's so weird of me. Number 34 is Final Offer by Lauren Asher, which is also in the Dreamland Billionaires series, but it's number 3. We had the first book, and now we have the third book. That second book must be garbage. Number 35 is November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I have not read this, but I have seen the cover everywhere because Colleen Hoover is everywhere. And every time I see this cover, I get the song Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria stuck in my head because there was a movie that came out called 9, like the numeral 9. It was animated and had like little burlap people and they were running. I don't know. But what I do know is that the song in the trailer for that movie is Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria. And so whenever I see a big numeral 9, I get that song stuck in my head. Go look it up, you'll love it, and you'll also see how it can get stuck in a person's head very easily. At number 36, we have One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. It's definitely on my list. Number 37 is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I read this one and really liked it. I'm not one of those people that's like, I am a different person after reading The Song of Achilles, but I thought it was good. Do you know what year this book came out? This was published in 2011. This book was published 12 God-given years ago, and it's in the top 40. That's bonkers. I'm sure like the popularity dropped off, and then like with TikTok and Bookstagram and whatever kind of stuff, it picked back up, but still, that is super wild. I think I read it in 2019, 2020. Good for Madeline Miller. We're rounding out our Taylor Jenkins Reid representation with number 38, Malibu Rising. In my opinion, this is her most underrated book. I really, really liked this one. I don't know if I liked it more than I liked The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Maybe more than Daisy Jones too. They're all pretty close, but like, I think the consensus is that those two are the best and that this one's not quite as good. I really liked this one too. It's got some good like sibling relationship stuff, which I'm always a big fan of. It feels very grounded in its time and place. That sounds pretentious, but you get what I mean. Don't sleep on Malibu Rising, it's good. Number 39 is Love on the Brain by Allie Hazelwood. She has now written 3 books and some novellas, but of her like 3 full-length novels. The Love Hypothesis was good. Love on the Brain, the second one, not as good in my opinion. And then the most recent one, Love Theoretically, I think is my favorite of hers. And number 40 is The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave, a very forgettable book that I did technically read and talk about in a recent video. That wraps up our list. Let me know if you're interested in my K1 Visa 90-Day Fiancé immigration video in the comments. Like, subscribe, come back another time. Goodbye. I'm tired of talking.